Have to understand, Maya is sensitive. She imagines things. It's a shame, really, how she's escalated this little misunderstanding. Tessa's voice was smooth as honey, meant for the mediator to absorb. The fluorescent lights of the small, beige office hummed, buzzing under my skin. Her expression was a masterwork of concerned pity, the one she'd perfected over the last year. I kept my own face placid, my hands folded on the cheap laminate table. Every misunderstanding has a tracking number, Tessa. I met her a year and a half ago, answering a Zillow ad for a garden-level apartment in a renovated brownstone she owned. She was magnetic, all flowing scarves and artistic jewelry, offering me herbal tea and talking about how she wanted the building to feel like a chosen family. It felt like a haven. I remember one evening, 3 months in, when I had a miserable flu. Tessa appeared at my door with a container of homemade chicken soup, not asking for anything, just telling me to get well. That was the good memory. The first red flag came a week later, when she asked what my exact title was at the tech firm. When I told her senior UX strategist, she didn't ask what it meant. She just repeated the words slowly, as if trying on a coat. It was a strange, acquisitive look I chose to ignore. The first 6 months were a blur of neighborly grace. Bring in her mail when she was out of town. She'd leave a bottle of wine at my door for my birthday. We'd grab coffee at a local spot, The Daily Grind, where she'd tell me all her problems and I, a chronic listener, would nod and offer advice. But slowly the balance shifted. It started with small asks. Could I watch her dog for a weekend? Could I help her set up her new Squarespace site? Soon, I was her unpaid pet sitter and on-call IT department. I rationalized it. It's what you do when you're part of a chosen family. The cracks became fissures when my packages started going missing. First, a subscription box from Alltrue, and a replacement for my Bose headphones. Each time, Tessa was full of sympathy. Oh, honey, porch pirates are the worst. You should really get a P.O. box. The real clue, the one that broke the spell, was a camera. A limited edition Leica Q2 I'd saved for a year to buy. It was my passion, the one thing that was purely mine. The FedEx notification said it was delivered and signed for, left in the secure front lobby only she and I had keys to. And I asked her about it, her face clouded with that familiar pity. You're so stressed from work, Maya. I saw the driver leave it on the outer steps. Anyone could have taken it. It's this neighborhood. That night something inside me went cold and still. I didn't believe her. For the next 2 weeks I quietly gathered data. I logged into my Amazon and UPS accounts and cross-referenced every delivery confirmation from the past year with items that had vanished. 14 in total. I spent $80 on 2 Wyze cameras, placing one inside my apartment pointing discreetly through the front window toward the lobby, and another by my back door. The confirmation came a week later. A package containing a designer scarf I'd ordered from The RealReal. The delivery notification hit my phone at 2:14 p.m. My camera's motion alert pinged at 2:18 p.m. The footage was perfectly clear. Tessa, looking left and right down the empty hall before picking up the box, tucking it under her arm and disappearing up the stairs to her own apartment. Just as I was processing this, a friend sent me a link to a local arts blog. There was a photo gallery from a recent gallery opening. And in the third picture, holding a glass of champagne, was Tessa. Around her neck was my Alltrue scarf, and in her hand, held with casual ownership, was my Leica Q2 camera. Her online bio, I discovered, had recently changed. It now read, Tessa Verlaine, property curator and creative tech consultant. She wasn't just stealing my things, she was stealing my life. Breaking point wasn't a confrontation. It was an email. Tessa sent a building-wide message announcing new security protocols due to a recent increase in package theft. She advised everyone to use lockboxes and be more vigilant, a masterpiece of passive aggression that painted her as the building's protector and me, by implication, as the careless tenant. I saw her in the hallway that evening. I kept my voice low. Tessa, that email was out of line. She gave me a tired, patronizing smile. One a parent gives a hysterical child. Look, I'm trying to protect this building and its property values. If you can't keep track of your own expensive toys, maybe you should live somewhere more suited to your budget. I'm just looking out for you. That was it. The moment the world went silent. In that silence, a plan began to build itself, brick by brick. As she turned to walk away, I noticed a detail I'd missed before. The arts blog photo of her holding my camera, a tiny, distinctive element was visible in the background, the chipped ear of a stone gargoyle on the roof of the building across the street. It was an angle only visible from one place, the bay window of her second-floor apartment. She hadn't even bothered to leave home for her big night out. My first call was to a man named Mr. Zimmerman, a lawyer specializing in tenant rights and civil litigation. It was the opposite of Tessa, no charm, just sharp, methodical questions. He listened to my story without interruption, his pen scratching on a legal pad. The retainer was $5,000. The timeline, he said, would be about 6 weeks to build an airtight case. We don't move until we have every receipt, every timestamp, every lie locked down, he advised. The next month was a quiet, meticulous obsession. I saved every video file to a secure cloud drive, labeling each with the date, time, and stolen item. The final count was 17 packages, including the camera, with a total value of $18,750. I gathered the evidence, UPS and FedEx delivery confirmations with timestamps, the 17 video files from my Wise Cam, the original purchase receipt for the Leica, complete with its unique serial number, high-resolution screenshots of Tessa's social media posts, where she paraded not just my camera but my scarf and a distinctive art print that had also gone missing. A key piece of evidence was a zoomed-in photo of the gargoyle, next to a photo taken from the street, proving the shot was taken from her apartment. The ironic coincidence came from my neighbor, Mr. Henderson in 3A. He stopped me one day. "Say, Maya," he said, "did you know Tessa's a big-shot tech consultant now? She was telling me all about it. Funny, I always thought that was your field." He became a willing witness to her pattern of misrepresentation. One close call came when Tessa sent a text saying she needed to do an emergency inspection of my smoke detector. I saw her on the camera, walking toward my door. The other camera, the one aimed at the lobby, was in her line of sight. My heart hammered. I raced to the door, opening it just as her key went into the lock, feigning a frantic work call. "Sorry, Tessa, I'm on with Shanghai. Can this wait?" I stood in the doorway, blocking her view until she retreated. Mr. Zimmerman's strategy was brilliant. We filed a formal complaint with the city's housing mediation service, but the official complaint was a decoy. It mentioned only a dispute over utility overcharges and 3 small, insignificant missing packages. We were baiting her into a forum she thought she could control. She walked right into the trap, which brought us here, to this beige room, under these humming lights. After Tessa's opening line about my sensitivity, Mr. Zimmerman slid a slim binder across the table to the mediator. "Let's start with the documented misunderstandings," he said, his voice flat. He began with the small packages, the ones from our official complaint. Tessa leaned back, smug. She offered condescending explanations for each. The Zappos box was probably recycled. The Sephora shipment was likely delivered to the wrong address. She was poised, confident. Then Mr. Zimmerman turned a page. "And now for the items not listed in the initial filing, which will be part of a separate civil suit for fraud and conversion, should this mediation fail." He laid out an 8x10 glossy photo of Tessa from the Arts blog, my Leica in her hand. Tessa's smile tightened. "Lucky find at a flea market," she said smoothly. "I've always had an eye for vintage cameras." Mr. Zimmerman slid a second photo next to it, my original purchase receipt, with the serial number 5,499,172, clearly visible. He then produced a third, a high-resolution blow-up of the first photo, where the same serial number was just barely legible on the camera's base. Tessa's bravado faltered. Her eyes darted from the photos to the mediator. "This is insane. It's a coincidence." Mr. Zimmerman didn't pause. He added the photo with the gargoyle. He pointed out how the angle proved the picture was taken from her window. He then calmly unzipped his briefcase, removed a small tablet, and placed it on the table. He pressed play. The video showed Tessa, clear as day, picking up the FedEx box containing the Leica. He let it run for 30 silent seconds. Her face went from pink to ghost white. "This is illegal. You can't record me in my own building," she sputtered, her voice finally losing its honeyed tone. Mr. Zimmerman leaned forward slightly. "The camera was inside my client's legally leased apartment, with a view of a common area where you have no reasonable expectation of privacy, especially not while committing a felony. The U.S. Postal Inspection Service will be very interested in the other 16 videos, but I'm sure we can avoid involving them." I looked at Tessa. Her mask of concerned sophistication had shattered, leaving behind something pinched and desperate. I leaned in and spoke, my voice no louder than a whisper. "You just wanted to look out for me, remember?" The chaos of the next 24 hours was a distant noise I chose to ignore. Tessa's frantic, misspelled texts went unanswered. Her tearful voicemails were deleted without being heard. The mediation concluded with her signing a legally binding agreement to avoid prosecution. She would pay me $25,000, covering the stolen goods, my legal fees, and damages. She also agreed to terminate my lease without penalty, return my full security deposit, and put the brownstone up for sale within 90 days. 2 months later, I saw her for the last time. It was a rainy Tuesday, and a U-Haul was parked out front. Tessa was loading a soggy cardboard box into the truck, alone. Her stylish clothes were soaked through, and her hair was plastered to her forehead. The magnetic, charming landlady was gone. Her place was just a small, damp woman who had overplayed her hand. My new apartment is on the 10th floor of a soulless high-rise, and I have never been happier. The landlord is a faceless management corporation in another state. My packages arrive at a secure mailroom, logged by a polite concierge. The view from my window isn't a charming brownstone, but a vast, open sky. It's a quiet life, an anonymous one, and it's all mine. The calm I feel wasn't one, it was earned. Last week I attended a photography exhibit. One of my own photos, a shot of a city street in the rain, taken with my recovered Leica, was hanging on the wall. A woman standing next to me turned and smiled. "That's a beautiful shot," she said. "You have a great eye. You must be very sensitive to the world around you." I looked at my photo, at the reflection of the gallery lights on the glass, and I smiled back. I guess you could say that. I noticed things. And for the first time in over a year, the only life I was focused on was my own.